Good morning, grade 10. Last class we have learned about the introduction part of hereditary and also technical terms. Okay. So, in this class we are going to see variation and Mendel's law. Okay. In this class we are going to learn about variation and Mendel's law. Before moving to our topic today, just will quickly review what we learned in previous classes. Okay. What is heredity, children? Heredity means an information will pass from a generation to other generation is called hereditary. And we have learned in last classes about variation. I have explained the picture also, no? So look at the parent and look at the first generation, look at the F2 generation, second generation. We can see variations among the individuals. So the variation even occur in asexual reproduction also and sexual reproduction also. This is very, very important, children. Don't think variation occurs only in sexual reproduction. These points and all you want to write and keep. Variation would occur even in asexual reproduction also and sexual reproduction also. And asexual reproduction, the variation level is very, very low range when compared to sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction we can see vast range of variation. Is that clear? So last class we have learned about variation and I have explained the picture too. Clear, children? So in this class I am going to explain the inherited characters under hereditary. So here we have learned about the variation. No? This point in your book is very, very important, children. You want to underline and keep. All this variation in a species have equal chances of surviving in the environment. This line is very, very important. For example, if a species, for example, imagine human being or a bacteria or a cow or a cat, might be any living organisms. If variation we can able to see in these organisms, this variation will help to survive in the environment. Okay, it will help to survive in the environment. And also depending upon the nature of variations, different individuals would have different kinds of advantage. This line is very, very important. Now we are telling variations would occur even in bacterium also and all other creatures in the world. And 99% variation will help to will help to increase the survival character. Okay, but sometimes there is a chance of disappearance of the organism also. So what do you mean by variation? Changes in its physical and their mode of behavior and also changes in their organism structure. Everything we can call it as variation. Variations leads to survive in the environment, 99%. But there is a chance, 1%. There is a chance means 1% leads to disappearance of organisms in the environment also. So variation we can see in both positive and negative character. Is that clear, children? So here they have given one example, bacterium. So a bacterium, imagine bacterium as a microscopic organisms. Even variations would occur in the bacterium, even viruses and all other creatures. If the bacterium will undergone mutation, means automatically there we can see sudden changes leads to changes in their characters, changes in their character. So this will help to survive in the very hot climate, very chill climate, and also according to the environment they can able to withstand in the environment. Because of the variation only, some bacterium they can able to withstand in the environment. Suppose if variation is never occur in this kind of bacterium, means automatically bacterium will vanished out from the environment. So by nature even organisms will undergo a process called variation, okay, through asexual reproduction or through sexual reproduction. That is also very, very important. So here what point you want to remember? variations even occur in bacterium also, and because of the variation the bacterium can able to withstand in the hot climate, very hot climate, and also very chill climate. For example, the name of the bacterium is Archaebacteria. I'll write here Archaea, Archaebacteria. So this Archaebacteria, they can be able to withstand even if the temperature is 80 degrees Celsius more, if and also more than 80 degrees Celsius. Imagine our room temperature is 37 degrees Celsius only. So when 5 degrees Celsius temperatures will increase, means we can't able to tolerate the heat, hot climate. And what will happen for these kind of bacteria means, when a temperature ranges is high like 80 degrees Celsius, they can able to withstand. Why? The bacterium has undergone a process of mutation, or because of mutation some variations would occur in the bacterium. So this will help to sustain in the environment, and this is very, very important for evolution of one species. Actually, evolution part is deleted for you, but variation will help for an organisms to survive in the nature. So how it will survive means, for example, our ancestor, when we compare to our ancestor, now compare 7 or 8 generation, we can see so many variation in our physical body behavior, and also their achievement, everything will vary, and it is this nature only is helping to survive in this environment. Imagine if we have the same kind of behavior and talent and nature, everything of our ancestor, and will it help for in this environment to survive? Possibly it won't. So this environment they want to survive means they should have some variation. So this variation will help to survive in the nature. So you want to remember one bacterium. You write bacterium, that is more than enough. When you are come to higher classes, you will be known the Archaebacterium. So they can able to withstand in the high temperature. Is that clear, children? So that line is very, very important. Please underline in your book and keep it. Okay, next we'll move on to the next slide. So this heredity is very, very important, children. Here I'll explain the concept. For example, I have given already definition for heredity and also variation. What is heredity? We all know. What is variation? Changes in their physical and also changes in their characters and appearance. Everything we can call it as the variation. So I have given one variation structure. No, so that is also example you can keep, and we'll see one common example in human being. Now look at these two pictures, children. So first picture, no. First picture, the earlobe. What is earlobe, children? Earlobe means lower part of your ear, no? That is only we can call it as earlobe. For some people, the earlobe. Now look at this A picture. The earlobe is free. Okay, it is not attached to your face. And second picture, no? This earlobe is attached to your face. Okay, this is we can call it as attached earlobe. Okay, attached earlobe. So these two are we can call it as variations. These two are we can call it as variations. So this is the some common example. Okay, we can able to see clearly. For some people the earlobe will be attached. So for some people the earlobe will be free. Now you just wherever you are going or you are along with your neighbor or sibling, you just compare how many people their earlobe is attached and how many people the earlobe is free. You just make one column and just find out which is having more number, attached earlobe or free earlobe. Okay, and these two are very good example for variations. So though they have the same same structure of ear and nose, mouth, all other body organs, some of the variations we can able to see clearly. So this is only we can tell a good example for human beings. So what is the good example for human beings variation? Attached earlobe and free earlobe. Is that clear, children? And here you want to remember, this is one concept. Under hereditary, first concept we have learned about attached earlobe and free earlobe, and it is because of the variation. So under hereditary you want to remember first one variation. So under variation we have learned about what? attached earlobe and free earlobe. Is that clear, children? And second concept is inherited character and acquired character. I'll write the spelling. Inherited, you all know, no? Inherited character is here. Inherited traits. Already I have given explanation regarding traits. So Mendel, those days, instead of character, he used what term? Traits. So we can tell inherited characters, that is also correct. Or else we can tell inherited traits, that is also synonym to the inherited characters only. So what do you mean by inherited traits, children? Inherited traits means what we are getting information from our parents. That is only we can call it as inherited traits. So what we are getting from our parents, no, that does all comes under inherited traits. When we will get inherited traits? When we are inside mother womb even. Okay, you want to understand clearly. What is inherited traits? Inherited traits means what we are getting from our parents. And when we will get inherited traits? When we are in our mother womb even, we will get inherited traits or characters through a gene. Okay, this is regarding inherited characters. So for example, your eyes, your eyeballs might be blue or brownish or black. Your hair color is little bit brown or pure black. It is curly. You are very tall. You are short, and your skin color is black, or it is gray, or it is white, and you are stout. Like this, so many hereditary information we can able to see with the help of your physics. Okay, this is all what we are getting from our parent is called inherited traits. And second, we can call it as acquired, ACQUIRED, acquired character. Okay, all you just write it in a one word, ACQUIRED, acquired character. What do you mean by acquired characters? This we won't get it from our parents. This character, acquired characters, we won't get it from our parents. Instead, we used to learn in this environment. We can call it as acquired character. Tell me some example for acquired characters. For example, in this, for example, you might learn swimming, and also you might be thorough with so many other languages, and also you have learned about horse riding, and also you are trained up with so many skills. Okay, and this and all you are learning in your environment. That is, we can call it as acquired characters. So inherited character is different from acquired characters. Inherited character means what you are getting from your parents when you are inside your mother womb through gene. And what is acquired character? Acquired character you are getting when you are learning so many different skills or new things through this environment, and also your behavioral changes. For example, when you are in one particular environment, though you are gene, you are having so much of things and all positive means. When you are in one group continuously, you are in one group means automatically we can see some changes in your behavior. So these kind of things and all we can call it as acquired characters. Okay, and what could be the examples for acquired characters? For example, you are learning horse riding, you are learning swimming. These and all comes under acquired characters. This is a first difference. Inherited means you are getting from your parents. Acquired means you are learning from this environment. Okay. Second one, inherited characters will pass from a generation to another generation, but acquired characters won't pass from one generation to another generation. Okay, is that clear? Because what you are learning swimming, no, for example, your father don't know to swim, but you will be thorough with the swimming. But next generation, without practicing, a child won't know the swimming. So automatically it is this information won't pass from one generation to another generation. This is second definition. And third, what we can tell means, we can give it one popular example. For example, inherited character means what you can give? You can give examples like hair color, okay, or eye color, or color of a person. Everything comes under the inherited characters. And what is the acquired? Acquired you can write the learning of swimming. And also, for example, if I cut the tail portion of the lizard, okay, automatically next generation, will it produce tail person, will it produce tail, or it won't produce tail? Okay, automatically it will produce tail. So cutting of the tail of lizard won't be a acquired character. So automatically, because it will be already, it was fixed, like a software, it was already fixed in their lizard. So next generation, though the intermediate generation, they don't have tail part, means third generation automatically they can able to produce the tail parts. So that is and all we can call it as inherited characters. So what you can give under acquired characters, like swimming, horse riding, okay, learning, other things and all you can give under acquired characters. So that is the difference between acquired character and inherited character. So very often they'll ask in both difference between inherited and acquired. Okay, children, I think now you are clear with 4 concepts. Okay, heredity, variation. Variations would occur in asexual reproduction also. Variation would occur in sexual reproduction also. Variation will help to fifth concept, variation will help to survive in the nature. For example, bacterium, they can able to survive in the hot climate and or even chill climate. It leads to a better evolution, but it is not always the same. For example, we can't tell if variation always help to survive in the nature. Sometimes variation leads to disappearance of organism also. That depends upon the organisms. And we have learned about inherited characters, acquired characters, and one example for variation, attached earlobe and also free earlobe. Okay, that's all about hereditary, variation, and inherited characters, acquired characters. Four topic I have covered. Next we'll move on to a popular scientist, Mendel, Gregor Johann Mendel. Okay, he is the father of genetics also. And why we want to learn about Mendel's law? Okay, in your level they have given 2 laws of Mendel's. Okay, Mendel proposed 3 laws. Okay, but in your syllabus it was given 2 laws. Okay, and what he did and how he can able to give all those law, everything only we are going to see in detail. Okay, children, before moving to Mendel's law, why we need to learn Mendel's law of inheritance? Okay, for that I'll give one small explanation. Imagine, for example, we are telling information is passed from a generation to another generation, but all siblings are not alike. Though the same parent, but all siblings are not alike. So what happened in between that stages? This is the one big question mark. No, we need answer for that. Okay, for that we want to learn Mendel's law of inheritance. So for that he did so many experiment in plant, because those days it is not even nowadays they won't give permission to understand genetic concept in human beings. They'll give permission for plants to do so many experiment. In that experiment, by doing so many experiments, we can come to some conclusion. What is the nature of gene, what will happen in their reproduction, and what will happen in their F1 generation, first generation, second generation, everything we can guess. And after that we can find what is the nature of the gene and what and all genes is responsible for all those character, everything will do. But first Mendel, he did his experiment in plants only. And which plant he chose to, means he chose a plant called Pisum sativum. Okay, Pisum, Pisum sativum, Sativum, Pisum sativum. What is Pisum sativum, children? Pisum sativum is a pea plant, patani. Okay, patani plant, pea plant. Okay, and this is, we can call it as garden pea. Okay, this is garden pea. We have one more plant, sweet pea, that is different. Sweet pea is Lathyrus odoratus, that is different. So he didn't do in sweet pea, he did in garden pea, that is Pisum sativum. So to explain what is the nature of gene, what will happen in their reproduction, and why all the siblings are not alike, what process has undergone, to explain everything, Mendel did so many experiments with the help of this plant. Which plant? Pisum sativum that is Gordon P. And why he chose this plant means because it will complete its life cycle within 3 months. Within 3 months, it can able to complete its life cycle. So it is very easy to do experiment. For example, 1 year, he can do 4 experiments in that, because 3 months means automatically he will do so many experiment in the Pisum sativum. For that only he chose Pisum sativum. Imagine if he chose, instead of Pisum sativum, if he chose coconut plant, means automatically how many years he should wait to complete its life cycle, no? So to avoid all those tension, in a better way, he chose a very simple plant, because it will complete its life cycle within 3 months. So we are going to learn about this Pisum sativum plant, what he did and what conclusion he gave. At last only we are going to learn. Is that clear? Till now you are clear, children? Okay. Now look at that book. First I'll explain in the book line and we'll go to the PPT. Okay. Here the rules for inheritance of such traits in human beings are related to the fact both father and mother contribute practically equal amounts of genetic material to the child. So how many pairs of chromosome? Totally 46. A mother is giving 23, a father is giving 23. So father 23, mother 23. A child will get 46. Child will get 46 chromosomes. This means that each trait can be influenced by both paternal and maternal DNA. So here paternal means father. Okay. Maternal means mother. Okay. Paternal means father. Maternal means mother. Is that clear? So a child will get both paternal and maternal DNA. Clear, children? A child will get both paternal, that is father, and maternal, that is mother DNA. Till now you are clear, children? Okay, very good. Next, for each trait there will be 2 versions in child. So you want to remember clearly. So here I am telling 23 means here also 23. So a child will get for same character, he or she will get 2 alternative. From mother, he is having 23. From father, he or she is having 23. So to express one character, now a child will have 2 options. Okay, like clear, children? To express one character, a child now have a 2 option. One option from mother, one option from father. What will then the trait is seen in the child be? So, and out of 2, which is expressed, which is not expressed. So only one condition will be expressed, other won't be expressed. So which is expressed, no, that is only we'll call it as dominant. So I have given all technical terms, no, which is expressed we can call it as dominant, which is not expressed but it will be in your it will be in your chromosomes only, that we can call it as recessive. Is that clear, children? So though a child will have both the characters of mothers and father, but a child can able to express any one of character only. So which is expressed, that we can call it as dominant, which is not expressed or hidden we can call it as recessive. Is that clear? Till now you are clear, children? Okay. Now to explain, no, this is all little bit confusing only, no. To explain only, Mendel he gave 2 laws. Okay. First law, law of inheritance. Okay. First law of inheritance. You just write and keep it. First law, a law of inheritance. First law and second law. First law, law of LAW, OF of inheritance, INHERITANCE. First law of inheritance. Second, law of independent. You know the spelling for independent, no? INDEPEN. Independent you write, no space here, you just write the spelling for independent. Law of independent assortment, ASSORTMENT. So we are going to learn about these 2 laws only. Okay. First law, law of inheritance. Second law, law of independent assortment. Is that clear? So other name for first law of inheritance is monohybrid cross. What is the other name for law of inheritance? Monohybrid cross. You write it. Other name for law of inheritance is monohybrid cross. Mono spelling M-O-N-O, mono, hybrid H-Y-B-R-I-D, hybrid cross, C-R-O-S-S, monohybrid cross. Second law, law of independent assortment. This is dihybrid cross, D-I-H-Y-B-R-I-D, dihybrid cross. Is that clear, children? So what two laws Mendel has proposed? Law of inheritance or monohybrid cross. Second law, law of independent assortment or dihybrid cross. Law of independent assortment or dihybrid cross. So this is only I am going to explain in the next class, not now. Okay, already it was time. So next class I will give explanation for that. So we are thorough with hereditary and variation. No? Differences between the characters or traits among the individual of the same species are called variation. So I have given explanation for the accumulation of variation during reproduction, and I have given explanation regarding chromosomes, chromatic, chromonema, what is gene, what is dominant, what is recessive, what is genotype, what is phenotype, and first one. This is only I am going to explain in future classes. Mendel he chose Pisum sativum plant. So this will be very, very interesting. How he crossed two plants and what he got in the first generation. This is only I am going to explain in this class. Monohybrid cross. If you want to write the spelling, you write and keep monohybrid cross or law of inheritance. And same only. And second one, dihybrid cross or law of independent assortment. Okay, those two I am going to explain in next class. It will be very, very interesting. And afterwards we have one more part, sex determination human beings. This already we have learned in grade 8. So with that this chapter will finish, children. So next week we will finish the hereditary chapter, and along with that only one more our environment, very easy chapter alone is left. With that both portion biology will complete. Okay, children. Thank you. Please write and keep. Next week we'll see monohybrid and dihybrid cross. Thank you.